Research goes to show that 23% of people quit their resolution by the end of the first week, and 43% quit by the end of January. Hello, and welcome back to The Wellbeing. My name is Madison,
My name is Rachel.
and today we are talking about how to actually keep your habits and New Year's resolutions. It's going to be a fun
Yay.
one.
It's going to be a good one. And
This
this will
is
be coming out at
important.
the perfect time.
Yeah, exactly. I read a statistic and I found it on fisher.osu.edu, which I think is Ohio State, which I hate Ohio State, but this is a good study. We don't just hate Ohio for no reason. We went to Wisconsin. Okay.
We'll
So
accept their research,
we'll
though.
accept their research. Research goes to show that 23% of people quit their resolution by the end of the first week, and 43% quit by the end of January. That is
Which,
wild.
yeah, I mean, I feel like there's this rumor out there that it only takes like 30 days to form a habit, but I don't think that that is actually true.
I think that if you are intentional about the habit, you start small with the habit, you want to do the habit, it is salient or relevant to you. I think if all of those things align, then probably.
Like your
But
why behind creating the habit
exactly. Like
is
in my group
meaningful.
program, we have this exercise that we everyone that does in like the Start Here content called 7 layers deep. It's not I did not invent this by any means. It's someone else invented it. I don't even know who. It's just all over the internet. It's a cool exercise if you haven't done it. But you basically say, why do you want to exercise, for example? And it could be anything. And then you ask yourself why you want to do that thing 7 times. So the first question would be, why do you want to exercise? And someone might say, I want to be in shape. Okay, why do you want to be in shape? I want to be in shape because it will make me feel more confident. Why do you want to feel more confident? Because whatever. And all of these, obviously, everyone's answers are going to be different, but you ask yourself why to the question before. And by the time you get to the
Mhm.
bottom, when people actually do this correctly, people cry most of the time, they tell me, because it gets to the end and people are like, I want to be independent so I can be there to see my grandchildren, or
Mhm.
I want to exercise so that I can keep up with my kids, or I want to exercise so I can do XYZ. And it's never just like because I want a six pack.
Right.
I want to be less dizzy. I want to exercise. I want to do X because of some really deep underlying reason. And a lot of times we don't even know that that reason exists
Right.
until we do that exercise. So 7 layers
Yeah.
deep is a great thing to do before you
Oh,
start a habit or a
I
resolution,
love
I think,
that.
because
Yeah.
then you can always go back to that, right?
hmm This sounds a lot like making a vision board, which is obviously fresh on my mind because I just did
Mm-hmm.
it
Me
for New
too.
Year's, and so did Maddie. And I know I posted like who's in to join us for making vision boards. You don't have to do it on New Year's. You can do it literally whenever you want. But I do feel like it's similar to that because you actually sit down, get like meditate, get in a headspace of what you want to think about and where you want to be and like write down things like for example things that I wrote down is like how does she feel every day, what habits does she commit to every day, and thinking through those things and actually writing them down is so meaningful, and you like discover things about yourself that you're like, oh, like that makes a lot of sense even though it seems obvious because it's kind of like subconscious, but when you actually take the time to write something down and think about why you want it, sometimes you're like, actually, I don't want that and I don't really like it. And sometimes you're like, I love this and I'm going to start doing it. So that, like, those two things align a lot.
I totally and completely agree. And I think that the only way to start something new or start to do something new is to have an intention behind it. And for me, like exercise is never something that I needed to make as a resolution because it's just something that's been a habit for me forever. Like it's been a part of my life forever. But I know exercise at the beginning of the year is a big one for a lot of people. And it's really easy to stop doing because no
hmm
one is forcing you to go to the gym. No one is making you go outside to go on a walk. But if you
Yeah.
have a reason why, like I want to make sure my bone density is enough so that if I fall and trip over something when I'm 80, I don't fracture my hip because statistically you'll be dead within a year, right? Like that is a
hmm
really good reason to go strength train and go on a walk every single day.
It totally is. And
Yeah.
I think another thing that I would encourage you to do to help with habit forming too is check in with yourself more often. So like
Hmm.
if you go to the gym and you get home, check in with yourself and see how you feel. Like I always feel really proud of myself for making time for myself. My mind is clearer when I get back. If I do take that break, I like to exercise like in the morning slash afternoon. Like I like to
Can't
start my
relate.
day and yeah, we're so different. Like figure out what works best for you. I love to start my day like working and getting hitting it hard. I'm super productive in the morning and then taking a break like around 11 or 12 and going to the gym and then coming back and like I have so much more energy and I'm so much more focused than if I just try and power through and like get all my work done. So I think it's like really important to check in with yourself after you do these things and just be like, how do I feel right now? I feel less anxious. I feel super productive. I feel really proud of myself. And even like taking a walk, like I know we've talked about this before, how it's beneficial to take a 5 minute walk every like 30 minutes to an hour, like so beneficial. And try that out and check in with yourself and see how you actually feel. And I think if you hold on to those feelings, that is what helps you keep habits because you remember how you feel.
I think so. And there is a book by Gretchen Rubin. I can't remember what the book's called. I'll find it. But at the end of the book, she ultimately says, be Gretchen. And I think you just need to be you. And that doesn't mean that if you want to start a habit, you're like, but I don't exercise. Okay, that's fine. But striving to be the best version of yourself is a good thing. Like to be Madison means that I do exercise. And do I actually enjoy exercise? Like, kind of. But pushing yourself to your limits every single day or a lot of days a week, it's like kind of rough. Like, I can't sit there and be like, this is my favorite thing of the day. Like, probably not. I like
Hmm.
how I feel after. I like that I feel
Hmm.
strong generally. I like that I can ski for hours without getting sore. But do I actually like going to the gym? Not really. So, but like the outcome. So being Madison, that's part of why I like to do that. Does that make sense? But
Hmm.
if I didn't exercise, being Madison wouldn't be like, oh, I just don't exercise, I quit. I could be like, I'm Madison, I don't like to exercise, but part of me knows that I want to do this for a better future me or a better
Hmm.
version of myself, better heart
Right.
health, better muscle strength, better longevity, like all of the things.
Hmm. I think too, it's really easy to get overwhelmed and be like, oh, I I don't have time for that right now. I'm just trying to be better at work or I'm trying to like be a better partner or whatever. But when you look at all the most successful people in the world, and when I look at my history of when I've been the most successful, which I've always been active, but I haven't always been on a really strict workout routine or like where I go 5 days a week. I've ebbed and flowed with that based on where I'm at in my life. And times of my life when I've been the happiest and I've also like done all the things, like gotten like felt the most productive ever, I'm doing all of those things, if that makes sense. So like the most successful people do take care of themselves and go to the gym, do like get enough steps in every day. They do eat protein, they eat really healthy, they are really productive at work. And like you just somehow, if you find time for all the things you want to do, they just start happening and you just get to this really amazing place.
I totally agree. And also want to caveat that doing all those things is, I'm gonna cuss really fucking hard. Like really, really difficult. And getting to that place, like I'm not perfect, you are not perfect, most people are not. And people who are perfect and get all this stuff done have so much help. So much help.
Yeah.
Like they have personal trainers and coaches and calendars that someone else made and full-time assistants and whatever when you look at like really highly successful people. But most
Right.
people have the ability, every single person actually has the ability to start something small and work their way up. So rather than being like, I'm going to go to the gym every single day for the next 365 days, then if in 3 days from now you don't go to the gym, you're like, ah, screw it, right? It's like if you're going to be like, I'm eating healthy, and then someone brings a piece of cake to work and you eat cake for birthday or whatever, and then you're like, the whole day's ruined. I'm going to have ice cream for dinner.
Yeah.
Like, no, rather than that outlook, say, okay, 80/20.
Hmm.
Sometimes I go to the gym and strength train. Sometimes I go for a walk, and sometimes I get 10 steps in a day and I sit my butt on the couch, and that's
Hmm.
okay too.
That's
And
totally fine.
recognizing that all of those things are fine and okay is absolutely necessary and essential to being the healthiest and best version of yourself. So if you want to start a new habit, rather than saying, I'm going to go to the gym for the next 365 days, say, I'm going to go to the gym once a week and I'm going to try and walk 3 days a week.
Hmm.
And
And
that
choose
is
something that you
enough.
like to do. Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Hmm.
Yeah. I agree with that. And it's even if like you used to be someone that went to the gym, I think this is a hard one. If you used to be somebody that maybe was in an exercise routine and then now you're out of it for whatever reason, and then you just like feel so you carry so much guilt and shame for getting out of it that it's hard to get back into it because you're just so upset with yourself and also like worried about like, do I deserve this? That type of thing. And you absolutely do. And we all go through different stages of life where our life adapts to like whatever is going on. And I think like if you're going back, pick something that you like to do and that's vibing with you. It doesn't have to be what you used to do or what you believe is productive or what makes you successful. Like pick something that some type of movement that just makes your body feel good and makes your mind feel good.
I totally agree. And I also think that when it comes to breaking your habits, it doesn't feel good. Like, I am the first person to tell you that, okay, today, as we record this, it's January 2nd. This is like the day everyone's resolution starts, right? And for the last 6 weeks, haven't been in my normal routine. I've eaten far more sugar than I have ever eaten. Despite having perfectly fine access to healthy food still, I haven't eaten it. I've eaten more processed food than I have in months, and I do not feel great. Like, my skin is kind of breaking out. I kind of have it under control now, but I texted Dee the other day and I was like, I have to eat no sugar when I go home. Like, my face is breaking out. You can't really see it on Zoom, but it is.
It looks amazing from
Well,
here.
I haven't even washed
Yeah.
my face today, but thank you. Um, just all of the things. And instead of being like, well, I just don't do that anymore, the
Hmm.
second I have, first of all, been kind of getting better about it over the last couple of days after recognizing, like, hey, I've really been out of it. And also, when I get back to my house and to my normal routine, I know that it will be easier for me to be in that routine because I'm at my house. I have access to whatever. I can make things work more easily, like whatever that looks like. So set yourself up for success, I guess is what I'm saying. Like, when you're traveling all the time, this is way harder, but in your own home, you can buy only foods that are healthy. You can make sure that you don't have gummy bears in the house. You can just throw it away, honestly. Like, and
Yeah.
that's okay. Hmm.
Speaking of gummy bears in the house,
So
Joe
good.
brought home like a huge bag of Haribo, whatever, gummy bears. And
Joe,
I'm
do you
like,
know how
are
much
you
Red
joking
40
me?
is in there?
I know. So you guys, so Maddie is amazing and sent me, we talked about, I can't remember if we talked about this on the podcast or not, but I
I
think we
think we
did,
did.
right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
They're really
Maddie,
expensive Swedish fish.
yes, that are like just like whole ingredients and like there's no artificial dye or flavoring in them. And so Maddie sent me some of these and it came with like 6 packs. Yeah, it came
Oh
with
my God.
six.
I didn't know it came with six. I thought I sent you
Oh
like two.
my God. And
They're
they're
way
all
cheaper on
different.
Amazon, turns out.
Are they?
Okay.
Okay. Well, it came with a lot, like, and I'm unsure how much it was, but they were like, there's like 6 different flavors that it came with.
Oh,
One of the flavors was elderflower.
I did see that. I thought I sent you like elderflower and like red, like whatever red flavor is, but apparently
Yeah,
I sent you six.
there's like, and I'm saying was because they are gone, but there was like raspberry, sour blueberry, and the sour blueberry ones are like little fish, and there's
Cute.
amazing. Yeah,
Were
they
they
were
good?
so absolutely.
I've
Yeah, they
only
were
had the
amazing.
raspberry ones.
They're all so good.
Okay, well, when I'm off
We
my
love
no
them.
sugar kick, I will be ordering them.
Yes. Anyway, so I have been eating those, and then Joe brought home this bag of gummy bears. But you guys, I will say since we did that artificial dye and flavoring podcast and learning about what Red 40 is and like all those things in there, I have not touched the Sour Patch Kids and I have not touched those gummy bears, but I ate the shit out of those Swedish fish ones.
There's no red 40, it's fine. It's
I
a
know,
better
it's
for you option.
definitely better. Yeah, yeah.
I was
Anyways,
I was also thinking on the vein of new habits, new resolutions, cutting things out, whatever. A lot of people are like, well, I'm just not going to eat seed oils and um, artificial dyes or whatever, right? Which
hmm
I'm totally pro that. But at the exact same time, if you're not strength training or exercising, you're not sleeping well, you're not eating enough vegetables, like whatever, if you're not doing what I would call like the basics of health, then it's unlikely that just cutting out artificial dyes and sweeteners and seed oils is going to be enough. It's better than nothing for sure, but there's definitely two sides of the wellness internet that I see. One of the sides is it's absolutely useless to cut out seed oils if you're not sleeping and exercising and whatever. And then there's other people that's like, if you don't cut out your artificial sweeteners, dyes, and seed oils, you're going to die and nothing else is worth living for. And I feel
whoa.
like those two sides of the internet are really, it's like politics. The answer lies somewhere in the middle,
Yeah, that's a good way
always.
to put it. Yeah,
And
definitely.
I think that, yes, you do need to strength train. I am not going to like be easy on that. You need to. It's a
hmm
requirement of being a human. I'm getting my DEXA scan in 8 days. I can't wait.
Oh,
I cannot wait. Uh, you need to strength train. You need to probably eat less processed foods. You need to eat 25 grams of fiber a day. You need to eat 100 grams of protein at least. There are things that you probably need to be doing that most people are not doing. Like 75% of America is dehydrated, right? We're not even drinking enough water, and you can't even go 3 days without water. You will die. So drink more water, do all the things, and also be mindful about the intake of artificial dyes and sweeteners and whatever.
yeah.
I think that the answer just lies in the middle somewhere. And it's not sexy or exciting to put that on the internet. Like the answer is somewhere in the middle. Don't be so extreme because the extreme stuff is what you see everywhere on the internet.
That's really true, actually. Like a lot of accounts, I
Mm-hmm.
think that pop up now in like our Instagram feed
Mm-hmm.
with because we like do hashtags like non-toxic home, like all those kinds of things, sometimes can be really like one end of the spectrum where it's like everything in their house is organic and like I'm talking like furniture to rugs to like paint, which those are all good things to do, but like, and then every piece of food or like, I would never eat this or blah, 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 blah,
Mm-hmm.
which is great. If people can live like that, that's
Mm-hmm.
great. And like, that's everyone's
Right.
choice. But that is a really hard reality to exist in
Mm-hmm.
with how our world exists today and
Mm-hmm.
just like access to food and like other things and just like cost of stuff. So I think that's a really really good point. And that's why I think we created something that's hopefully more realistic and just
Mm-hmm.
making like easy, simple swaps. Or like if you're, you know, like obviously I know eating these Swedish fish isn't good for me. Like I can read the label and be like, well, should I eat this one or should I eat this one? And then
Mm-hmm.
like, I don't know,
Make a
whatever,
better
making
choice.
swaps that are more comfortable for you. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I guess
Yeah,
just having the knowledge behind that. So
totally. Yeah.
yeah.
So when you start your habits, don't be so extreme. I feel like more reasonable to do and starting little, like again, walking twice a week and maybe going to the gym once a week, or walking, I don't know, something along those lines where it's littler and you can build upon it is going to make it so your resolution or your new habit actually sticks. And then
Mhm.
also another good thing is to habit stack it. So if you want to make a new habit, tying it to something else.
I like
So,
that. Do you
for
have an example?
instance, yes,
Yeah.
I just got a red light mask and I've been wearing it, but I don't really love wearing it because but I know it's gonna have good positive long-term outcomes, so I do. But like it's kind of hard to see out of. It's kind of
hmm
bright, like whatever. So I've been
hmm
tying it to reading and I make myself do it while I read, which I can do if I press like right next to my nose, the light kind of dims. It
hmm
doesn't go so much into my face. Um, and so I do that and like I can if I do it, then I can read at night, kind of. So I tied it to reading, which I love doing at night. Um,
Which like was
or
that a
meditating.
habit you already
Hmm.
had?
Yes, I
Okay.
already had the reading habit. I've been reading every night for since my wedding. So November 2023, like right after my wedding. I've been reading every night for a while now, and I've loved it. And I literally can read for hours, but I have to force myself to stop.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, I like tie my red light mask to when I go to sleep, basically.
that's a really good one.
Hmm.
I think I'm trying to think. I feel like a good one too is like most people, I think, get up and drink something hot in the morning, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's coffee
Coffee,
or
tea,
tea or
lemon
something like
water. Yeah.
that. So one thing that I'm trying to do more of every day is
Hmm.
meditating or journaling because
Hmm.
I'm someone that wakes up. I have a problem with production, and I'm someone that wakes up and like lets the dogs out, comes
Hmm.
upstairs, starts working right away. So
Hmm.
that is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start doing my hot drink, whatever it is.
Hmm.
I'm trying to do tea first and then have coffee
Oof.
later. You're not a tea person?
I don't like hot flavored water.
You sound like Ted Lasso. Have you watched that show?
You know this about me, don't you?
I don't know if I
I don't
did.
like
You don't like
soup. I
tea at
don't like
all?
hot coffee. I
You don't
don't
like
like hot tea.
soup?
I hate soup.
Like
Hate it.
even if it has veggie,
No,
like
I like chili
oh my God.
and tomato soup,
My gosh. How are you
but I don't.
surviving in
I
Wyoming in the
literally, I
winter?
don't know, but I literally hate it.
Oh my
And I was telling my friend who's a psychologist about this. Is such a tangent. I was telling my friend who's a psychologist about this the other day. She's like, "This is intense. Like, are you okay?"
God. Yeah.
Okay.
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 Anyways, that was a tangent, but
So I think that in order to set successful habits, here are the steps that I personally take when I do this. I think of what my new habit wants to be. I want to go to the gym or I want to walk more or whatever. And I start slow. So I wanted to walk more. I got an Aura ring, which tracks my steps, which you do not need. You can literally use your phone to track your steps. And I set myself a goal that was not 10,000 steps because although 10,000 steps is attainable for a lot of people, for someone who has a pretty sedentary job, not so sustainable. So it used to be easy for me when I lived in New York City, but not anymore. So then I committed to walking my dog at least once a day, walking to and from my office, which is really close, but still. Um, and tying it into other things rather than just being like, I'm just going for a walk. I also made it more exciting by buying myself a weighted vest and something
oh,
I really wanted to do. So I was like, okay, I can get more bone density work, even though it's like
mhm.
you still need to do exercise for
Resistance
that,
training.
but whatever.
Yeah.
Um, I knew that there would be obstacles. Like it's going to be cold outside. It's slippery in Jackson. I don't want to. It's freezing. So I got out my snow pants for when it's too cold to make it so I put them in the front closet. They're always going to be there next to my jacket I could put on. And then I do it in small chunks. And then if I don't get my goal every day of 7,500 or 8,000 steps, it's okay. I'll just do it tomorrow. I don't force myself to march in place for 25 minutes at the end of the day if I don't get all my steps. Like, it's okay. And then accountability can also be helpful. Some studies say that if you tell other people that you're going to do something in your brain thinks you've already done it, and therefore you won't be as likely to do it. While other research says that telling someone you're going to do this helps them hold you accountable. So it just kind of depends on your personality type.
Hmm. Yeah, I love all of those. I think another one I'm just going to add because that's an amazing list. So I'm just going to add to it. But another one that's super helpful is find a buddy to do your habit with you because there's a ton of research out there on social engagement and people who work out specifically on workouts, but any habit that do it together, do like keep the habit for longer. So that's really helpful to have. Like maybe you meet somebody for a walk every morning
Love
or
that.
every other morning or whatever it is. Um, or that is how I started going to the gym again. And I've been going finally consistently for like 2 months. And I like now I'm just like going because I feel so good. But I made my Sydney start going with me. And she started resistance training for the first time, which is really
Love
fun, and
it.
she's killing it. So yeah, that's gotten me like back into
Uh-huh.
going every day. And like some days we go and we're like she doesn't love leg days, which is totally fair. But like some days we go and we're just like, let's just like take it easy today or like go for a walk. Like my body's not really feeling like squatting and thrusting and all the things. So that's a good one too, is find a buddy.
Love it.
Yeah. And then we just do our like business meetings at the gym and it's super efficient, which I love,
Efficiency
obviously.
queen. Also,
Like,
I think I interrupted you with my I hate water, or I don't hate water, I love water. I hate hot flavored water, which is you were saying something about what you're
oh,
gonna
yeah.
tie to your morning
Okay.
drink.
Yes. So I
I
think
made a
this is a
face. And
really important one for habit forming too, is actually sit down and think about when you're going to do it. Like Maddie said, maybe you tie it to another habit, or like for me, if I set a time to go to the gym with a friend, or if I'm going by myself, I set an alarm and I go at that time no matter what, no matter where I am in my workflow, because otherwise it just gets pushed back and I end up not going. Because if for me personally, like if it's after 5 o'clock, I'm not going to that gym because there's gonna be way too many people there and it just stresses me out. But I
mm-hmm.
know a lot of people like get energy from other people at the gym too. So like pick a time that works for you, stick to it, and plan when you're going to go and actually follow through with it.
I love that. That's why I have to go first thing in the morning
Mhm.
before I do anything. I have to go at 6 because that's right when the gym opens. It's the first time I can go. Um, and when I used to do classes at the gym, um, I used to hate seeing people walk out of the class all sweaty. Like, oh my God, I have to just do what they just did. I didn't like that feeling of like, I could have done this before. I
Yeah,
could have
like let's
already
just get
been
it over with.
finished.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I think that can be helpful. Like, okay, I'm going to go first thing. And also, I don't know about you, but I mean, on my vision board, it literally says in the biggest writing possible, I should say no because I am really bad at telling people no. But every single day at some point, my world explodes. Like something weird happens and I can't leave the office, or I have to do this extra thing or whatever that wasn't on my list of things to do today. It happens almost every single day. And if I don't go to the gym first thing in the morning, by the time it's 1 o'clock, I will not have gone. And so I
Hmm.
absolutely have to go unless like I have a totally open free day and if something explodes, it's no big deal, which happens very rarely. So I have to go first thing in the morning. If I don't go, it doesn't happen. And so I know that about myself and my own personal life. And you just have to, exactly like Rachel was saying, evaluate that for yourself.
Yeah, and pick when works best for you. Because yeah, I have a different schedule where like I can just get a ton of stuff done in the morning and then just like kind of take a breath in the afternoon sometimes. So yeah, that pick whatever works best for you and whatever you vibe with, but do pick a time and schedule a meeting for yourself and actually treat it like a real meeting. Let's like you have to do it. It's inexcusable to cancel it.
Totally. I totally agree. And that goes for any habit from drinking more water, eating more protein. Like, sit down and ask yourself, how am I going to do this? Am I going to have a more protein rich breakfast? Am I going to eat eggs or cottage cheese? Am I going to make protein pancakes? Can I make the batter the night before? So I just have to put it on the stove.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
what can you do in your life to support that new habit to make it
Hmm.
as easy and seamless as humanly possible?
Yeah, I love that. One other thing that I've started doing recently, which has been really nice, and before, like, because I just feel like one of the things I put on my vision board was being abundant with my time because I just feel like I never have any time. And I know a lot of people feel like that. Like, we're always just like back to back to back to back, and we never have like a 5 minutes to even like chill and breathe. So, one thing that I've started doing, which I know this isn't an option for everybody, but I've started putting my phone on sleep mode for the mornings. And then like I just focus, I have multiple jobs, but I just focus on my one job for like 4 hours. And I just do that. And I'm so efficient. I've been so efficient with that instead of like, oh, I got a notification. What is it? Oh, now I'm thinking about this with Baby Fit and I have to like work on this or like blah, 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 blah. It's just really nice to like chunk your time into like, I'm going to think about this right now. I'm going to think about this later. I'm going to go to the gym. And I've had so much more time because I'm way more efficient.
I love that. I love the concept of calendaring your day. I think
Hmm.
that's great.
Yeah.
I think that's great. I am not as good about that. I need to be because I just looked at my calendar for the next couple weeks and it is chaos, you could say. So I think yeah, I'm gonna have to do more of that because usually right now I go to the gym, I come back, I make breakfast for me and D, shower, get ready, go to work till like 12 or 1, come home, run errands, maybe probably do a little bit more work, and then it's dinner time. So now with ski season coming in, that's a really big lift to kind of adjust things again. So, and that's really important to me. So I know that I'm going to adjust my schedule around that. But just
Yeah.
like what's literal season are you in and how can you
Hmm.
make that work? Do you have kids? Do you not have kids? Like what does that look
Yeah.
like? What
Yeah,
other things do you have to
definitely.
schedule around?
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. Like what season? I like that a lot because that just changes day to day. And like my sister just had a baby and he's adorable and I'm an auntie and we love him. But like they're in their parent season right now and like not getting very much sleep during the evening, but maybe more through the day. And like their big outing is going for a walk, but like they have had to completely change and rearrange their schedules. And like, yeah, you just kind of have to like embrace whatever season you're in and figure out how you're going to make it work. But yeah, this is a fun topic. I think habits are sometimes get like a negative rap because they can be intimidating and they're just like meant to be broken somewhat, but they don't always have to be. And I think especially when this is coming out is probably similar to what Maddie said as the research of when habits maybe start breaking or like, we start ditching them and we're like, that feels like too much. So hopefully this is like a fun kickstart of reevaluating your habits and getting to the reason of why you actually want to do them and scheduling them for yourself in your
Hmm.
day.
I totally agree.
Yeah,
Love it. I think we did it. Start
we did
small,
it.
go slow, make time, put it in your calendar, tie it to another habit that you already
But
have.
yes, and find a buddy.
Find a buddy. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for listening. I think my favorite thing today is the concept of knowing that it's never too late to start or restart something. Like you don't have to wait till Monday, which I don't even know if we said this, but this is my favorite thing about habits. You don't have to wait till Monday. You don't have to wait till the first of the month, the first of the year, whatever. Like diet doesn't start tomorrow. Eating better
Mhm.
starts now. It's 80/20. You don't have to, it's not all or nothing.
Yeah, I love that. That's a really good one. I love how you kicked the episode off with why, like your why behind
Mm-hmm.
forming a habit. And yeah, just evaluating why you want to do something and how it actually makes you feel and not just because it's healthy or like you should be doing it. Otherwise, you're not taking care of yourself because that just like influences like shame and guilt instead of like a positive emotion behind a habit. So
Such a good point.
we can all do it, you guys.
Yeah.
Yay.
Thank you so much for listening. If you like this podcast, wherever you listen to it, give us a review, write it down. We would love to hear what you think about this podcast. And also, it helps us reach new people and all of the things. It really does matter. And it's free for you. And we'll take you 2 seconds. I love you.
Yes.
I'll
Love
see you next
you.
time. Bye.
Bye.